Welcome to Northwest Fencing Center's fencing series on YouTube. This is Coach Michael McTigue, and I'm going to be with you today for the next few minutes working on point control. Fencing, if you want to think about it, it has everything in the world to do with putting the point where you want it in space at the moment that you want it there. And just like everything else in fencing, it's a learned behavior, and we can work to make it better no matter who we are. You are going to need to get your ball target, fencing dummy, a wall target marked with a couple of targets on it, something of that sort. So what I'm going to ask you to do is stop the video here, go get your stuff ready, come on back and restart the video. I'll wait here for you. Ready to go? Awesome. Now, when we're doing tip control, in this case we're talking about fine motor. We're talking about distance and timing as well. So we're going to break things apart, and we're going to work primarily on fine motor control. The drills that we're going to do today should be done very, very slowly, with an emphasis on trying to have the tip moved in a controlled fashion and very, very smoothly. Our tip, our point of our weapon, will be in our field of vision the whole time we're doing these drills, and I want you to pay attention to how smoothly it is moving towards the target, and I want you to go very slowly. The temptation is going to be whoop, 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 and really throw the tip in there. That's what we're trying to avoid. Throwing things puts too much chance. We want to be placing things. Even if we're going really fast and about, if we're placing the point, it will be much more likely to wind up on the target we want when we want it there. So, why are we going to do these drills so slowly when we fence, we're moving often very quickly? It has to do with how the body learns new motions. If you watch a baby trying to go up a flight of stairs or just simply walk across a room, it's really painful. There's all kinds of stuff going on. They're having a lot of trouble, and they're obviously concentrating very hard on just that task. And it's because they haven't learned how to do it yet. Any one of you now can walk across the room, chew gum, carry a load of books, and text a friend all at the same time, because you have practiced those actions so much that you do not have to waste conscious thought on them. You can walk across a room, walk up a flight of stairs. If you've been practicing your footwork, you can advance, retreat, lunge, and flash, all without having to think about how to do the action. You simply execute it because you have created those muscle memories, as we call it. So, if I have all these muscle memories, wonderful. How do I get them? It's a conscious effort. If I go slowly enough to talk all of my muscles through a particular action, then repeat that over and over again, concentrating on exactly what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a motion where a tip is moving slowly to a target. Then that repetition of smooth, controlled, accurate placement of the tip will gradually build that muscle memory file in your brain, so that when you're in a fencing situation and you see an opportunity, you simply hit it, rather than thinking about how to hit it in addition to trying to hit it. That's usually too much processing in the brain for that moment, and we miss. That's why we're going to do these very, very slowly. Now, in this instance today, we're going to be working with bringing the tip to target from non-standard positions. If I'm in a standard on guard position, my tip is pointed at a hand, at the body. It's already pointed at a target, and it's not very far for me to move that tip to get to pretty much any target that I might need to hit. But what if I've just taken a wide parry 6? Or I have, in an epee bout, I've stepped in and invited somebody to attack having my hand open. Or I've taken a deep parry 4. In those situations, my hand is no longer in its normal guard position with the tip forward and available. Its hand is wide, the tip may be wide, the hand is over here, maybe I've taken a high 7, my hand is up here. I've searched for a blade in 8 and they're coming out and my hand is low. I have to bring that tip to the target from a non-standard position. And it turns out that these particular drills are very useful for even when we're in a standard position of fencing. You'll notice I have both my assistant mannequin Skywalker with a couple of targets. You can use a wall to do this, or you can use a ball target. You could even have a folding chair with a little bit of tape on the back. Anything is going to work, but I prefer, if you can, to use a ball target. Because with the ball target, if I muck up, it's a lot more obvious, and it's going to make me stop and reset. Now, as I said, we're going to pick an outside position and bring the tip to the target. And initially, we want to have no foot movement going on at all. We want to be stationary. So in this case, I'm going to pick a low outside position, and I'm going to slowly bring that tip to the ball. And from the side, I want to get my distance so that from the side, I'm going to be out here in my on-guard position, and I'm going to bring that tip up. Now I went a little bit fast there. What I really want to do is bring it up very slowly. Just about an inch away from the ball. Bring it back to that position and bring it up very slowly. Back to position. Bring the ball point up very slowly. And as I'm doing this, I am trying to make sure that my tip is moving very slowly and very smoothly to the target. Slowly, smoothly. I don't want to be shaking up there. I want to be relaxed. I want to be going slow and smooth. I could count it out if that helps. 1, 1,000, 2, 2,000, 3, 3,000, 4, 4,005. A slow 5-second count up to my target. Slow 5-second count. Drop back down. Even though I'm going to be doing this drill from multiple positions, I want to concentrate on one position. This is where you can use your Tabata timer, like we've been doing in many of Coach Mattern's classes. And you could set your Tabata timer up to give you 5 seconds to set up, 60 seconds of work, 10 seconds of rest, 60 seconds of work, and I would say that you're going to want to do 5 repetitions from each position. And that 1 minute of work, 60 seconds, means you're going to be making 12 of these, roughly 12 of these, probably closer to 10, if you're bringing that blade up on a 5-second count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Concentrating on the tip moving to the target. And you notice as I'm doing this, my hand is staying in that position. My tip is coming up first, and right now, that's all we're working on. So if you do 1 minute roughly 10 repetitions for each of those minutes. Take a little 10-second break in between, and get at least 4 full reps in before you move to a new position. Now, it pays to pick positions that are going to be likely. So I can pick a position where I'm outside and my tip has to come in. I can pick a position where my hand is high and my tip has to come down. I can pick a position where my hand is low and my tip has to come up. I can take a position where I'm in a deep parry 4. My tip has to come over. These are all likely positions. If I'm a fencer that does high 7 a lot, my tip comes over. If I'm a fencer that does a preem a lot, then my tip moves very little, because this is one of the exceptions that proves the rule, where we actually step to the target, not reach to it. I would only practice that if it was something I did all the time and I was already very good at doing preem, parries, and reposts. If you're not and you want to be, when we get back to the times when you can take private lessons, ask your coach to work on it. It's best learned in a private one-on-one lesson. It's very difficult to learn preem in a group setting, and I would say near impossible to learn adequately from a video. So I would not include that unless it was something that was already an integral part of my fencing game. So if we've picked 4 different normal positions we would find ourselves in: outside, high, low, and across on 4, and we've done 4 reps each of the 1 minute on, 10 seconds off. Again, slowly and smoothly moving the tip, then we have got ourselves a pretty good workout. Now we can add things in, and this is not an epee only drill, this is absolutely a foil drill. In foil, a lot of the time you will find yourself in infighting situations where your hand is out wide, you're in a deep 4, and you need to bring the blade back in point first in order to get your touch. And your hand needs maybe to stay in that outside position, either to keep your point back so that you're able to hit from a very close position, or you're doing a stop hit or a repost in opposition and you need to keep that blade of your opponents out in that area. And this drill can work very well for that, because the next step that you can add in is you can have your position, and let's take that deep 4 position. I'll do it to the camera and then I'll do it to the target. I can go deep 4, point in, and step to the target. So from the side, I'm now a little farther away from my ball target. I take my deep 4, slowly move the tip, and step to the target. If I'm using a hit wall or a fencing dummy, I can deep 4, slowly move the tip, step to the target. Again, parry, aim, reposting with opposition, moving to the target. Set your Tabata timer up if you've added movement, and repeat it as you did before, now with your wide parry 6, point in, move to target, high parry 6, point in, move to target. This also will help you imitate the situation of when a target is coming at you. Whether you may have parried an attacking fencer and they're moving in. If the parry has come out and your tip is coming in, they land on your tip. If you're an epee fencer, you might be counterattacking. And a lot of times on counterattacks, people see the hand coming And instead of pointing their tip at it, they throw their arm forward. They're aiming at a hand where it is now, but it's moving. By the time their tip gets there, that hand is not there anymore. So what do you want to do? You want to track that hand, move the tip into the trajectory. And you can practice that with your ball target simply by getting a little bit of a swing to it, and fix your hand position, tip in, hit. Simple as that. This is a great way to practice a counterattack. You're out, tip in, and it hits. But here's a little secret where you can add in something that will help you greatly when you're back on the strip. Rather than just standing there and hitting, with the ball swinging, you're going to bring your tip into line as the ball is coming forward, hit, and retreat. That last pit, very important. Lots of people go for a counterattack, then they stand there. What happens if they miss? That's right, bam, right in the chest. If I go for my counterattack and I retreat away off of the hit, and if I miss the first one, I may be lucky enough to get a second or double, or I have time to parry or duck or whatever it is that will help me out in that situation. If I just stand there, well, how often in fencing is just standing there a good idea? Not often. So let's recap. Most important part of this drill, whether you add motion to it or not, and I would always start without any motion. Most important part, slowly, smoothly moving that point to target. Repeating, not 6 or 7 times, but at least 4 sets of 10 or 12 times each. You can use a clock on the wall and go for a minute, take 10 seconds off. You can use your Tabata timer like we have in a lot of the other workouts and set it so it will remind you of when you need to move. If you're trying to occupy a little brother or sister, you can give them a stopwatch and have them tell you, okay, 1 minute starts now and end. And they can become part of the workout too. Slow, slow, slow. Slow enough to feel all the individual muscles working, and track that point with your eye and see that it's moving smoothly to the target. That is the real key to this. Slow, smooth, accurate repetition, and lots of it. So, take that one with you. That's a good solid workout. Your arm is going to get tired, your fingers are going to get tired, and probably keeping yourself going slow and concentrating really hard on each motion can make your brain a little tired too. So, get ready for a reward for yourself when you're done. Work really hard in the meantime. That's it for today's session on point control, smooth, slow repetition. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one.